This week on JTV, we're creating boutonnieres and showing you fun new products that make it easy to do. There have been so many great additions to the boutonniere market. Ways for us to save labor and time, things to make things more glorious and extravagant. We wanted to explore a few of those today for you on JTV. So let's look at some of these great new items from Fitz Designs. These wonderful boutonniere holders have been very popular. In the gold and the silver, with almost the lace finish, those are great. Or the glitterati ones that have glitter on the outside. Or the calla lily shaped boutonniere holder. So wonderful, and at the same time, very easy. Because the attachment on the back is a very strong magnet that just pops into place. No more embarrassment about pinning on the boutonniere to the lapel. In this case, the magnet holds it securely in place. So today, let's start with one of those glitterati and create a fun boutonniere in this. The glitterati has an opening that goes all the way through the entire boutonniere. And we'll pick some flowers over here. I've got a great assortment for us to work with, all different types. And that's important because when you're creating boutonnieres, all sorts of different things are applicable. And you want to show your customer as many ideas as they possibly can see. So they can pick and choose something unique, because that's what it's about. Having a unique boutonniere for their date that night means the world to the girls who are shopping for these. So we've got alstroemeria, filler flowers, orchids, spray roses, even Gerber daisies. All sorts of things and very interesting foliage that's going to help us create something beautiful. We'll start with that foliage. This is the new Shine from Color Fresh. It has a silver undertone and the lavender over the top. So it's going to be perfect with that sparkling glitterati holder. We'll take off a few of the laterals and group those together. That's going to be the background for the boutonniere. Next, I think we'll add a couple of the spray asters. Now the great part about this is we're not using wire to create this. We might use some decorative wire, but we're not going to do the traditional wiring and taping. It's going to save us time, and it's actually going to allow our boutonnieres to last longer. Because we're not placing a wire up in the head of the flower, we're not creating a hole for it to draw air through, we're not wrapping tape around the outside that acts as a drying agent, we're actually going to help these flowers last longer in the boutonniere. So those purple pieces are looking great together. And let's see, what shall we choose as an accent to that? I think these Denim Star Sweethearts are going to be beautiful because it has that wonderful lavender undertone, and it's going to look great with the purples that we have here. So we'll choose two of those. Now we're going to remove any excess foliage that we have below so the stems can be nice and clean. The other great thing about removing that foliage is the foliage will draw moisture away from the head of the flower. So pulling those even off of the stems of the spray asters helps reserve all the water content for the flower itself. So we've gathered that up into a bundle, our Shine Color Fresh, and then we'll arrange the boutonniere right in our hand. When I was a little kid, I'd watch my mom do corsages and boutonnieres, and every individual flower had to be wired and taped. So it didn't give us the opportunity to use all the different types of flowers that are available in today's market. But now we've got all of those great things. And look it's a perfect little boutonniere, and it looks great. We'll use some purple bouillon. I'm just going to take that and wrap it around the stems. I'm securing those stems together, making sure that it's snug, but not super tight. Now I could even add loops of that up here at the top to add just a little interesting metallic background. So I loop it up and bring it over the top. And loop it up over the top again. And then just use my wire again to secure that. Forms a circle over the top of the flowers, and that makes them even more interesting and draws attention to the flowers themselves. Now the thing I want to be cautious about too is making sure that this stem remains thin enough that it's going to fit through our glitterati holder. I'm going to wrap this around the outside, bringing it down to the bottom. The other functionality of this is holding all of those stems together so that I can slide it through the holder. We'll trim that off. And this is going to slide through that holder and into place. Now the other thing I might want to do to make sure that I ensure that that's going to hold in there and not fall out is add just a couple dots of the Cold Oasis adhesive. I never want to use hot glue on my flowers, always cold glue. So that's on the inside and that slips into place. It's attaching itself to the inside of that glitterati holder. And we've got a wonderful boutonniere that's ready to go. Our final step, always Kreisel Professional Glory. Coating front and back, and because it's a water base and dries clear, it's not going to be seen at all, and it won't damage the glitterati holder. Now let's take a look at some of the other fun things that Fitz has. They also have these buckles, which have been fascinating. Fitz told me that one of the most popular things on their website are their how-tos. And having the buckles in a boutonniere is a very cool way for us to create something exciting for a boutonniere. Let's show you how to do one of those. They come in a pearl or a diamond. Those wonderful rhinestones look just like diamonds. And people love glitz, so this will be perfect. I'm going to use a salal leaf as the back of this boutonniere. And I've selected one that will actually fit through this buckle. And slide into place. The buckles come in all different shapes and sizes and actually can be used as a buckle on a ribbon around the base of a hand-tied bouquet. But we can also use them for other things. And a boutonniere is a perfect way to utilize it. So notice how that salal leaf fits through the center. We can even kick it off at an angle like that if we want. And let's see. I've got some beautiful Christine orchids from Amy's. And I think some of the white shimmer plumose will be wonderful as a backdrop for this too. Perfect. Now again, the mechanics for this are going to allow us to glue a lot of this together. We can put a small dot of glue on the back of the buckle and also the back leaf. And we can apply our plumosa over the top of that. Then to use our orchids, we simply cut the stem very short. Apply the glue to the back of the orchid itself. and glue that into place. I like layering the orchids because I think they look really pretty layered over the top of one another, and it looks kind of the same way that they look on the stem. And the buckle is just peeking through, and we get that wonderful shimmer. That goes together so quick and easy. It's a fast way for you to create beautiful boutonnieres. Now, what about gathering up other types of materials? And maybe you don't have a holder that you're going to use. Maybe you want to do something rather simple. Maybe a couple of alstroemeria. It's a gorgeous alstroemeria from Rosa Flora. And the flower itself is absolutely incredible. Boutonnieres can be really easy for us to create. Taking those, adding a piece of our spring rye from Fern Trust, gathering the stems together, I'm just going to use a few yards of the bouillon. I'll gather both ends of the bouillon together. And notice how I kind of have a little loop and ball that's been created there. We'll lay those flowers on top with the greenery and then mold our bouillon around the flowers themselves. This keeps a lot of spontaneity and casualness to the wire itself, and we'll bind it together in one spot. Now let's see, I'll use some of the green metallic wire so that I have a contrast to that wonderful red tone. I'm simply going to wrap this neatly around the stems. I don't want to go too tight, but I want to bind everything together. I'm going to take and form my wire. One of the great things about the wire is making sure that it's completely smooth. And I always have a wire toolkit handy so that when I have wire like that that I've been working with, I can take it and use the wire straightener and straighten it and curve it so that it becomes an artistic part of presentation in the corsage or boutonniere. So something like that is very simple too. Don't forget to coat all of your boutonnieres using the Kreisel Professional Glory. Now, sometimes we just don't have time. And so we want things that help dress things up quickly and easily. The new shimmers that are available from Fitz are temporary tattoos, but it's also an easy way for us to add color to a simple boutonniere. Let's say we wanted to add a little bit of sparkle and glitter to the back of this boutonniere. I use my knife and pull up the corner of the shimmers tattoo. And that can be placed directly on the foliage. A couple pieces of Italian ruscus. And a bit of our bouillon wire around the center. We have a foliage boutonniere with a great accessory already adding the color. Or we can use this as an armature and come back and glue another flower into that. Pink and brown are so popular right now. Let's use this little brownie, Gerbera daisy, cut it off short. Brownie is available from Rosa Flora. It's one of my favorite Gerberas. We've applied a good amount of glue on the back, and we'll apply an amount of glue right there on our leaf as well. Gerberas are a very popular flower, and sometimes they're hard to get into a corsage or boutonniere, but not when you glue them. And that sits right there. And then our shimmers are peeking out. Amy's Orchids has come up with a real time and labor-saving device for you. She creates these boutonnieres that are already pre-made. They come to you pre-packaged. They have a desiccant in the back because they've been shipped fresh directly from Thailand. We pop that out. This orchid boutonniere is already ready to go with a pin on the back. So you simply can pin that right directly onto the lapel. And it's pre-made. It comes in all sorts of different shapes and styles. She even does this one with Vanda Blue with a wonderful fabric backing to it. It's great. You'll notice that the sizes of boutonnieres have changed. We're seeing bigger boutonnieres on guys. They want them to be a little bit larger. They want them to be a little more special. And they want them to match the flowers that the girl's carrying that evening. Another great product that's out there for boutonnieres too is the Sure Pin. This is a great way for us to use a single flower and have it easily attached to a boutonniere. And at the same time, makes it easy for them to pin on. The flower goes directly on the end of this pin that's sticking out. And then this simply slides into the boutonniere. It's a fast, easy way to have a single flower become a boutonniere. That goes up inside the stem, and it's ready to pin on. So from simple to sublime, we've got all sorts of boutonniere products that are available to make your next special event that requires boutonnieres over the top. Until next week, keep having fun with flowers.